Welcome back. We have here Marion Dobbin. We were talking about achieving your goals just before we went on the break. And we're going to try and look at how people can stay focused on their goals. How can you stay focused? Because it's easy to get distracted.
Well, I think the thing is if you keep it simple, because I think setting your goals, keep them simple. And I showed you in those 3 steps that you've already achieved them, and write it down. Put a little post-it on the mirror so that in the morning, when you first get up, you can see what your goal is, to keep reminding yourself. I think sometimes we just think about things, but we don't do them.
That's true.
And if you write it down, it's reminding you all the time, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is what I've got to do. And also review your goals. I mean, if you're making a big, huge goal that you want to be a millionaire in a year's time, you know, review it. Is that really possible? Is that achievable? And break it down into smaller pieces. If we tackle in smaller pieces, it's easier to tackle, isn't it?
Yeah.
So lots of small steps to the big goal.
Yeah.
So you've got, rather than saying sort of small goals to the big one, a lot of small steps to the big goal. So break it down. So it's easier to take one bit at a time, do one thing at a time. And once you've done that, note what you've achieved. Don't just think, oh yeah, what's the next thing? Achieve that. Look at what you've achieved.